Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. We have a great turnout tonight, so thank you so much to all of you for being here. I do want to say, since we've started doing these Sup with the Superintendents live and in person, this is the best crowd we've had, so give yourselves a hand. And I do want to give a shout out to some of our folks that we have from the school site here. We have a couple of our teachers here, Erica Moeller and Valerie Rodriguez. I saw Mr. Shanklin earlier, but he may have left. But we've got, of course, our wonderful principal, Mr. Carlos Cerna. His assistant principal, Michelle Rask, is here as well. We want to thank our family engagement liaison, Justin De Santiago, for setting this up. And while we're talking about family engagement liaisons, I do want to recognize Latanya Myers from the district who is here. And also we had Donovan Botello from Lakeview helping us set all this up today. And he doesn't even work here, so great round of applause to him. Mr. Richard Gonzalez standing back there was instrumental in setting all this up, including the food that you're eating. So give him a big hand. And we have from the district office, Lorraine Collins with us. And of course, we have our cabinet and our superintendent, and I'm going to let the superintendent introduce the cabinet. So without further ado, our superintendent, Dr. Ron Williams.
Well, is it on? Okay. Yes, I've got Dr. Rubacaba, Dr. Hawkins, and Dr. Yee here. You should have received a binder. If you did not, well, I'm just about sure all of you did. But in there, I just want to go through a couple of things. One of the things being, well, some people are getting up to get them. While they're getting those, we've got the At a Glance, which is our 4-page folder here. And it has our Ed services, our HR and our business services attached to that. We also have our school calendar, which is in there too. And so you can take a look at that at your convenience, as well as our grading periods and deadlines. So you can expect those. And our educational master plan is in there too. So when you get home, please read through this. You'll find it very, very informational. I want to thank, let's see, you want to hit the board? Oh. Oops, hold on. Hopefully I'm standing in front of these people over here, but hopefully you can look around me. A couple of years ago, we started off with the ideal of how to redesign, redefine, and reimagine. And we said this year we wanted to add one extra component to it. And so we said, let's re-engage, because we knew that this year was going to be a challenging year for us. And as I've talked to other superintendents from not only from the high desert, this has probably been the most grueling year for us all. So I want you to give yourselves a round of applause for the amount of time that you put in. Okay. This year has, the challenges is with all that we had to do, because our governor has passed a number of executive orders. And so we found ourselves responding to them. But the planning, the public, personal protective equipment, the testing, the technology, the learning, the teaching. And when we had our board to look at addressing our reopening plan, we had the board to address our reopening plan. And so our plan had stages 1, 2, and 3, and 4. We didn't do any of them because they changed the color grid for us. And so we had to switch over. But, our focus is who we are. We are the Victor Valley Union High School District, and we say this, and I can tell you, Richard has been a key to this. He has always reminded us we are VVUHSD. With our educational master plan, if you was looking at our district, that's the larger umbrella. We have our strategic plan, in which Dr. Yee may talk about a little bit later on. That's the plan that's beneath that. Then we have our single school, we have our LCAP, as well as our site plans. I know that most of you are probably familiar with your site plans, especially if you're involved with the on the site councils. And so it shouldn't be any, I'm sure you get that. Okay. Our educational master plan is our blueprint for success. And so please take out time to read that, because I think you're going to find some great information there. We've got a number of things that we're going to be planning over the next couple of years, and I hope that you would be a part of it as well. We're launching a couple of new programs this year. With that, we have, which one is the first one? We have the aviation pathway, we have the legal pathway, we have the medical pathway, and we have our middle college program. Now, with our aviation program, it's going to be launched at Victor High School. Oops. And it's because we looked at Atalanta, but they were not really ready at this particular time, and they were at Victor High School. Next, we have it's the legal pathway. We're going to be operationalizing that. That's going to be at UP this coming year. And UP has got an excellent program, and I'm sure it will meet their need. We have the medical pathway, which will also be launched from Victor High School. They have an excellent medical program. And we have the middle college program, which will be launched from Lakeview Leadership Academy. Now, for those of you that may not be familiar with Lakeview, that's a middle college. And those students there we're going to be starting to have those students and their parents or whatever to enroll in college, and hopefully that will lead them forward.
Okay. And I'll pick it up from here. We have a few things that we're doing in terms of communication and outreach. And obviously, we're doing virtual town halls, which some of you have seen. And what we're at right here tonight, Supper with the Superintendent, these are in-person town halls that we've started doing again. We, of course, didn't do these at all during COVID, but we've just started doing this. We've done 3 of these so far. The turnouts have been getting better and better, and we're so happy to see all of your faces here with us tonight. Also, I do want to remind you that our district website is a good place for all the information, including access to your students' grades, information about COVID-19, and all of that good stuff. So not that COVID-19 is good stuff, but the information is useful, is what I mean to say. So, and now we're going to move on to our Assistant Superintendent of Business Services, and that is Dr. Antoine Hawkins.
So I'm not as tall as Dr. Williams, so I need to let this microphone down just a little bit so that it's not covering my face. Good evening to each and every one of you. I'm going to go over a couple of slides very briefly and talk about what I'm going to talk about is in the context of what we have done historically and some of the things that we're doing currently on the business services side of the house, which also encompasses our district operations. So first of all, we'll start with our food services branch. We were fortunate enough during the COVID-19 pandemic to ensure that we provided all of our students with breakfast and lunch meals that followed federal and state guidelines. Some of you may remember or be aware that we also pushed out into the community. We put meals on school buses to make sure that students did not lose the opportunity to eat, which was a phenomenal thing. I thought that was very, very innovative. And so we were able to do that. Also, at this currently, not just our school system, but school systems throughout the state, indeed throughout the nation, are experiencing what we call commodity service impacts in the food services area, because there's been a shortage of drivers, whether they're school bus drivers, whether they're transit drivers or truck drivers. I know that some of you have seen in the news where we've had all this stuff parked off on Long Beach and it's starting to get unloaded, but a part of the challenge was having drivers to operationalize deliveries. And so we're still having some challenges with that. The COVID-19 pandemic in essence has caused those challenges, but our Director of Child Nutrition Services, Mr. Jason Hill, has done a phenomenal job to look at how he can mitigate that challenge. If we have to make Costco runs for supplies, that's what we do. If we have to go to other areas as well. So I know some of the students, we've had this come up in some of our previous meetings, supper with the superintendent, is that, there's not variety, right? We're working on the variety to have better variety like we used to have pre-COVID-19. And when we're able to scale that up, we will do that. So the other thing I want to share that's important on this slide particularly is Assembly Bill. That's what the AB means / SB is Senate Bill 167. Those bills were passed and they made significant changes to how the state was going to allocate about $150 million to school systems to ensure that we had the resources to upgrade our cafeterias and to make sure that there was adequate training for child nutrition services staff. Sometimes promises are made and then they're kind of delayed. So we have not received our apportionment yet, but we even had a meeting today and we were talking about in our strategic planning meeting. We had that meeting today with my team on it. And we talked about how we're going to look at some of our cafeteria areas. And when the monies roll in, those are some upgrades that your children may start telling you about, that we have a little fresh and difference going on in the cafeteria. So that's something we want to share as well. Okay, next slide. When it comes to facilities and maintenance, I know that for a lot of parents in the community, this is a very critical slide because it deals with, and Dr. Rubakaba will deal with a little bit later on when it comes to our PPE, personal protective equipment. But this slide kind of details some of our cleaning protocols and so forth and what happens. I'm just going to share very briefly if there is a COVID-19 exposure on our sites. So first of all, it's our intent. We've done this during the COVID-19 pandemic to work with our school community to maintain safe facilities for our staff and our students. Our maintenance staff directly assist the school administration in the responsibility to ensure that we're touching high point areas. We're making sure that we are wiping and cleaning and sanitizing. And in the unfortunate case that we have a COVID-19 exposure in our facilities, we immediately pivot to, in concert with our human resources, we work together as a tandem and as a team, we pivot to what we call deep cleaning. The district has been fortunate enough to use some of our ESSER funds, our federal dollars and state dollars to purchase during the initial part of the COVID-19 pandemic. Many of us heard about those electrostatic sprayers that airlines were using, that high-tech stuff. Well, our district has the same type of equipment. And whenever we have an exposure, I just want you all to know, as parents in this room, staff, and our community, that we pivot to make sure that we're deep cleaning as necessary. And we're also cleaning on a regular basis. Okay, next one. And then the last slide, this is a historical piece and a current piece. So in the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, because we went to the online learning platform, right? This was all new to everyone. Everyone was talking about Canvas. Everyone was talking about Accelis and all of this type of stuff. The district, we used our resources to make sure that all of our students had Chromebooks. So Mr. Dave Bertelson is our Director of Information and Technology. I had him scale up and look at the purchase of equipment. We've continued on with that. During the pandemic, I'm very happy to say that we not only pushed out food in the community, but we also equipped our school buses with Khajiit Wi-Fi hotspots, and we identified 11 areas within our district that we could send those buses to. And some of you received those notifications, I'm sure, because Mr. Riley put it all on our website, that you could, if you did not have internet at home, you could go to the parks, or your students could go to the parks and they could go on the Wi-Fi there to continue their studies. We also scaled up and purchased, or leased rather, some of those little bitty Wi-Fi, what do you call hotspots? Yeah, hotspots for student use. We still have those available. We're still looking at additional in case, a challenge comes up, because we don't want students to be without any tools that they need to be successful. I know that some are back in school, but some are on the online medium as well in our virtual academy. And so that's just a point of information. And then finally, we had 2 more points. Enough Canvases, license, and training was provided to those who were interested in that platform. And in order to ensure that our students, when they were online surfing the internet, that it was a safe environment, we made sure that we had an enhanced Google platform, and we also had Gaggle, okay, which is a web content filtering program. So I believe that's the end of my slides.
Thank you,
Okay,
Dr.
thank you.
Hawkins. And now we're going to welcome our Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, and that is Dr. Ramiro Rubalcaba.
Thank you, Chris. What a great introduction. Really appreciate it. So the slides that I have here that are going to come up in just a minute are just some images for you guys to be aware that when it came to the safety of our students, our children, our staff, our community, we spared no cost. I'm very proud to report that, we bought everything from sufficient PPE, thermometers to do screening when we had to, hand-free everything, right? From sanitizers to now we're doing the sinks, now we're doing the water fountains like you have at the airport. Those are coming. We purchased HEPA air filters for every single classroom. We purchased those little dividers and had them custom made just for us. We coined our own little, we call them the roly-polies because they're like on wheels, but they're basically, a teacher has a little, like a rolling desk with shields all around it in order to help keep people safe. Now, when we say we care, we really mean it. We want you to be safe. We want to stop the spread. On top of that, we hosted, we're probably going on like 20 vaccine clinics for those who want the vaccine. We hosted it on our sites. Every single site hosted vaccine clinics. For those who want it, had access to it, right? Access is not a problem. On top of that, we've worked with public health on a number of things to make sure that we're up to speed on what the most current guidelines are, what the Department of Public Health recommends and expects from us. We offer free testing for our students and staff at each site. So we don't charge our employees or our students, of course, and that is to help keep them safe, help keep them at school. So for example, we have the modified quarantine. If your student becomes exposed, but they don't have symptoms and they wish to remain, at school, they subject to the twice a week testing. That's just so that they remain engaged. Same thing with the athletes, right? We offer the free testing for our student athletes who want to participate in the sports, and they take advantage of that. So we're very proud that we think that we've done everything that we possibly can. But then this next slide is going to highlight some of what Dr. Hawkins shared that I'm like really super proud of. I want to point out, first of all, that man right there, I know he looks like a star, right? And he's the superintendent, man of the hour. But Dr. Williams, executive cabinet, and some other members of our staff, when the pandemic first hit and our seniors were like at the end of their year, remember March? You know what we did? We jumped in our cars. We took those little hotspots that Dr. Hawkins talked about. We took Chromebooks and we knocked on doors and we said, we know you can't come to school, but we're going to you so that you can finish your school year. And that's a picture right there of Dr. Williams with one of our students from that time frame, right? Dr. Hawkins also mentioned that our bus drivers, man, I wish some of our bus drivers were here right now to tell them thank you, because they really stepped up and they switched up some of their jobs, right? We weren't driving buses because nobody was coming to school, but they said, what can we do to help? They did everything from like hand out Chromebooks to take meals, and they worked nutrition services, and they delivered meals to the bus stops, as Dr. Hawkins mentioned. We didn't expect the kids even to come to the school. We took it to the bus stops because that was closer to their houses, right? And the families were very, very appreciative. And so those images show that, and Dr. Hawkins mentioned that we bought the hotspots, we bought the Wi-Fi hotspots. We did whatever we possibly could to let folks know, like, we really do care about you and we want you to graduate. And our principals, I also want to throw a shout out to any of our principals watching. Crazy times call for crazy ideas, right? And we were just talking a little bit earlier about, she's like, oh, I need this and I need that for sports. And she's like, I'm going to cash it. And that's what you're supposed to do. And we bought everything our kids needed to be successful. But our principals really stepped up, and our assistant principals, with like these drive-through events. Like, kids couldn't get together, but they had these drive-in movie theater nights where they were safe in their cars, but they got to see their friends like through the windows. And the kids were like, oh my God, I'm so excited to see my friends, right? We kept people connected, and we did just innovative things because it was a time for us to do things differently. The world changed. And then, of course, we have to send our shout out to our teachers. You know, our teachers went from brick and mortar to online overnight, and that was no easy task. So I guess what I want to highlight on behalf of the Human Resources Department is that our greatest resource is our human resource, is our people. And we did everything that we possibly could to say that we care. So thank you.
Okay. And last but not least, our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, Dr. Ramoni Yee.
And I'm even shorter, so I'm going to move mine a little bit lower. Actually, you know what? I think I'm just going to remove it completely. So thank you again for being here this evening. My name is Ramoni Yee, and I'm very proud to be the Assistant Super Vet Services. So kind of like what Dr. Rubalcaba said, like, it was just hard. It was hard. But the best part about this year was we got our students back. I think isn't that pretty awesome? And we have our staff back, and we have our families and our community back. To be able to, just stand here and watch you guys, that's a gift. So kudos to everyone. Thank you so much for all your support. And Ed Services, Dr. Williams mentioned about the Educational Master Plan. There's a lot of plans out there. You have a copy of the Educational Master Plan. It is a 2020 to 2030, a 10-year plan. We need to forecast into the future as far as what it is that we want our students to be able to leave with when they graduate from us, and really be prepared to tackle the world out there. So we also have our strategic plan. And like Dr. Williams said, we're working on that right now. It's sunsetted last year, so we're actually working on revising that. And that is about a 3 to 4 year plan, really going a little bit more into the specifics of what we highlighted in the Educational Master Plan. And then we have our LCAP, Local Control Accountability Plan, that we actually review every single year. And this is so important for our community and our stakeholder groups to be able to give us feedback. And that's where you as taxpayers, that's where your dollars are working for us. So these are the actions and strategies that we say, this is what we're going to do based on our goals, and this is how much money we're going to utilize in the plan. So ESSER 3 grants, we also have a lot of state and federal grants that we're working with, always to ensure that we put our students at the forefront of every decision that we make. So just excited that we have the money to spend. And again, our priority are our kids. So next slide, please. So I oversee a lot of different departments, one of which I'm very proud of, and that is the Student Services Department. The Director of Student Services is new this year, and he's doing an amazing job. His name is Michael Williford. And I just want to highlight a couple of things. When we came back from the pandemic and from distance learning, we were coming back to something very, very different. Our kids had not been in school for a long time. So therefore, we wanted to make sure that we were doing things that were fun, that were engaging. So we had a couple of things. One, in September, we had the attendance challenge. And we were able to compete, and every school won because they were competing against themselves. And we, as you can see, I think that's a picture of Hook. We're at Hook right now. So the teachers, a couple of teachers that won at Hook received breakfast. Their kids received breakfast and cooked for them by the Nutrition Services Department. Really, it's just about, getting kids to school and making sure that they had the opportunity to learn. The other thing we did was Unity Month in October. And we love all kids. We love diversity. Our nation is built upon that. We recognize it. So the Unity Challenge allowed kids to be artistic. They decorated pumpkins with Unity themes and so forth. And we went ahead at the board meeting and really showcased the work that our students did. So those are just a couple of fun things that we did in student services. Next slide. In addition to administrators, we also saw some stuff. right? Administrators needed to know to make sure that they were up to speed. Some of the issues that we were having at some of our sites, we had trainings on alcohol, drugs, and vaping. We want to make sure our students were safe, but we also wanted to make sure that adults knew what it looked like, what was going on, so that we knew how we can support our students. So that requires training. We do a lot of training. We actually have LVNs. So these are a nurse at every single site. We're hiring mental health clinicians for every site. So that would be mental health counselors. We also have a district nurse as well. All of these resources from the grants, from the money that the state and federal governments are giving us is really, really putting into good use, again, to support our students. So they've been trained, trauma-informed support are some of the trainings. Nurses are trained on IEPs, even contact tracing, helping with that and so forth. It definitely is a team effort. We also have family engagement liaisons. I know we have, you're sitting right there. We have one at Hook, right? And yeah, you can clap for him. Every site has a family engagement liaison, and we also have one for the district as well. Again, you being here is really the work of the family liaison along with the admin team here. So they're here to make sure that we are collaborating with one another. Coffee with the principal, something that I think most schools do, family computer giveaway, anything that we can do to support families, that's what we're here to do. We also have even a counselor at the district office that really works with homeless and foster youth support as well, doing home visits and so forth. So next slide. I'll move a little faster. Curriculum and instruction, my love. I've always been that, it's all about instruction, about good learning in the classroom and so forth. One of the things I always tell my team is you have to be in the classroom, work right alongside our teachers. They need that. They need to know that you care, that you're there to support them, so you need to be seen and accessible. So we've done a lot of training as well, at not only outside the classroom, but even on Saturdays after school. We're trying to not take too much from the teachers. We don't want the teachers to miss too much because our students deserve the teachers to be in the classroom. So we try to kind of do it after school. We try to do it on Saturdays. And again, just being there alongside them to help. There is for even our classified staff. We actually have training for them as well too. And we can't forget them because they're so important as well. This year we were able to pay for a training hub. So really just online, they can go in, receive whatever training in the areas that they need. So we did that this year. And then again, teacher coaching, just being there. We have consultants, we have our own people. We even have a program that we're with the human resources where you have kind of mentors and coaches that are helping our new teachers as well too, which is definitely something that's we are very proud of. Next slide. And then college and career, I know Dr. Collins is here. She actually oversees that department, so I thank you for being here this evening. And really, in the grand scheme of things, it is about getting our kids graduated and making sure that we support them, whether it's college, whether it's a trade school, whether it's a military, whether it's a workforce, whatever it is, we want to make sure that they graduate. So we are so proud because we actually have a couple of schools. We have University Prep that is ranked right now, probably number 1 or number 2 of all the schools in the San Bernardino County who actually submit their FAFSA. Your free application for financial aid is so important. Sometimes just the time, because I'm telling you, I have a senior at home. It took me 2.5 hours to fill in the FAFSA. And that's 2.5 hours of, and as a parent who's in education, so I can't imagine when my parents, as immigrants to the United States, there was no way they could have filled that out for me. So our job really is to make sure we equip you guys with the knowledge and the skill set to be able to do that. And that is our job. So we have UP, they're like a 95% of every student filling out the FAFSA. Free money, that if you make a certain amount of money, you can get a lot of money. But everyone should fill it out. Next year, it's going to be mandatory, so I'm glad. So then the other thing is SIM. SIM has a really high rate. And then the other one has the best growth rate was actually Victor High School. So really, when they compare year to year, and we're trying to improve and get more kids to apply, Victor did an awesome job. And then again, Dr. Williams talked about the pathways. Dr. Collins is amazing, and we're doing some great things for our kids. I think that might be my last slide.
Yes. So Dr. Yee, if you don't mind, we're going to talk to Jasmine Sendejas right now, and I wanted you to just introduce her and talk a little bit about what she does while I'm pulling her up on the screen here, okay?
Perfect. So how many hours is Arizona from us? Is it 2? 1? Okay. So Jasmine is in Arizona, but she wanted to be here. She wanted to be in person, but she can't be. So she's actually going to be here virtually. Jasmine is what we call our student success coach. She works with FEV Tutor, which is a tutoring company that we as a district purchase for free for all of our students to receive tutoring one-on-one for free. You know, when I was growing up, there was no way my parents could have afforded a tutor, right? At whatever, $25 an hour or whatever it is. We have free. We
Absolutely.
just need to utilize it. So if you are here, if you need tutoring, we have that. We have for you. So Jasmine is going to talk to you a little bit about that. We also have targeted programs at the school site during the instructional day to also support students who need tutoring as well. So Jasmine, thank you so much for being here. You've got a wonderful audience in front of you, and they are already clapping for you. So
Thank you, everyone. And thank you so much, Dr. Yu, for that introduction. I can't tell if the slides are pulled up yet on the screen or if I need to wait just a moment.
Give me just a moment. I'm turning your volume up a little bit because it's a tiny bit low. Give me just a moment.
Okay.
Jasmine, can you say something for me?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you much better now.
Okay, great.
Okay. So
Too loud?
yeah, well, I'm actually going to turn you back down a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, and I am going to pull your slides up. You should be able to see it on your screen as well. And there you go.
All right, great. Thank you so much. And welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing me to join you this evening. As Dr. Yi mentioned, my name is Jasmine Sendejas, and I am an academic success coach at FEV Tutor. And so we're going to learn for the next few minutes a little bit more about our services and how you can get your students started. So here at FEV Tutor, for anyone who isn't aware, we offer live one-to-one instruction for students in grades 3 through 12. Valley UHSD, it would be 7th through 12th grade. We offer a customized design to really meet the needs of all students in the district. We are available 24/7 and we are device agnostic. So as long as students have access to an internet connection, they can actually complete their sessions on any device that they choose to. And of course, our overall goal is to provide equity to all students and really delivering results that truly matter to the students, the families, and of course the schools as well. So here at FEV, your students actually have access to 2 different types of support. The first is our targeted support. And with this model, students actually work through a custom learning plan that is designed around their specific needs. So they work with an assigned tutor to really skill build and drive academic achievement. And then our second model we offer is our 24/7 live homework help and coursework support model. And with this model, tutoring is offered in all core subject areas. So we cover math, ELA, science, and social studies as an optional layer of support to really help students through homework assignments or coursework. Students actually can access this model of support 24/7 by requesting an on-demand session through their student dashboard. However, both types of support can be scheduled as we do offer flexible scheduling from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily and on weekends as well. So students actually already have accounts set up through ClassLink. They can simply log into their ClassLink Launchpad, find the FEV Tutor app, and click on it. And this will take them directly to their student dashboard where they can request to work on demand, or they can schedule a session directly from their dashboard as well. So this snapshot is just a quick view of the actual student dashboard. Students can view their schedule, as you can see at the top of the screen, request to work on demand, view all of their session history as we do record it, and they can even book a session directly from their dashboard. And then this is a snapshot of the actual student session and our 2-way synchronous whiteboard. Students can use features such as the chat box, text-to-speech, one-way audio, language translations, and much more. They can also upload assignments and share their screens directly with their tutors. All right, students can get started really in a multitude of ways. They can log into their student dashboards, as mentioned, through ClassLink. They can email or call our support team, and I will give more information on the next slide of how they would do that. Or you can sign up through one of our scheduling forms, which is found on this family flyer, and you can actually reach out to your school leaders as well, and they should already have access to this flyer for you. And then lastly, as an incentive this year, for any student who does complete 10 hours of instruction with FEV, they qualify to earn a $10 Amazon gift card. So a lot of students do get really excited about that. And it's just a little extra incentive to get them to 10 hours of instruction with FEV. All right, for any additional information and support, you can reach out to our 24/7 support team, ca@fevtutor.com. You can also reach our engagement specialists at the 855 number. Again, these are on all of the flyers that we do offer and push out to the district. Families can schedule their students using any of these methods. And if you do email, you would simply share your student's name, grade, and school along with their preferred subjects, days, and times for sessions. And then once that is submitted, you would get a confirmation email within 48 hours explaining how to get started. And that really wraps up everything that I have. Of course, we look forward to getting your students started and seeing the progress from their first sessions. I will go ahead and leave it open for a few minutes for any questions that any of the families might have.
Well, thank you, Jasmine. And I do want to remind the folks watching at home that you can ask a question in the live chat on YouTube or Facebook. I don't see any questions in there at this very moment. Now, if anyone out here has a question, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and come up to this microphone right here. You won't be on camera, so if you're camera shy, don't worry. But we do need you to come up to the microphone just so we can hear you and so Jasmine can hear you. Does anyone out there have a question? I think this young lady has a question. Her friend is trying to get her to go up, but she's not coming up. Raise your hand if you or your child use FEV Tutor. Anybody? Well, we have some recruitment to do, Jasmine. I guess it's a good thing you were here.
Absolutely.
We got a lot of folks here who know about you now, so that's great.
That's great. And I would say the first step would be reaching out to your school leaders, getting a hold of those family flyers, reaching out to our 24/7 support team for more information. And we're happy to answer any and all questions and help you get your students started with any support that they might need, whether it's homework help or that targeted support as well.
Yeah, and free tutoring when you need it. It's really a great resource. So,
Absolutely.
not seeing any questions online, not seeing anyone running up to the microphone here. We will go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you, Jasmine, for joining us.
All right. Thank you again for having me, and everyone have a great rest of your evening.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, and after this, we're going to talk to Carlos Cerna, and I'm going to go ahead and bring your slides up, Mr. Cerna. So if you want to come on up, your principal, Mr. Carlos Cerna.
Okay. Hello, everybody. It's good to see everybody. Can you guys hear me? Okay, good. Okay. So, man, there's so much to say, and I'm glad I only have 20 minutes. Just kidding. Just kidding. All right. My teachers are looking at me like, keep it brief. Okay. All right. Anyway, I just want to thank you guys. Let me begin before I share the great things and, celebrations we have here at Hook Junior High. Again, it is my honor to serve our students and families of Hook Junior High School. And so I want to thank you guys for being here. And it's always a joy to see you guys here on campus. And so please continue to reach out to us each and every time. And thank you for the families that are logging in at home. I'm always accessible, so please continue to reach out to me and let me know how I can better serve you guys for you and your students. So I do want to say a lot. There is so much to really share and to celebrate. Of course, it always starts with the students. What we do is for the students. And so it's such a pleasure and an honor to come here each and every day to serve our students. It's great seeing our students every single day, seeing the hard work that they're doing in their classroom. We're very, very proud of them. And then families, we're very proud of you guys for coming out today and seeing you guys on campus. We're here to serve you guys. So thank you for being here today. And then for families at home or that are not here, we're here to serve you, our school community. And then again, our teachers, I am so proud and honored to work with them side by side. Ever since I've been here, I've seen teachers that I do know provide a lot of information, but I do know what I've seen is that these teachers, and they joke about it because I say it a lot, is that these teachers do go through walls for these kids. They get here early, they stay late, they do a lot of love and a lot of sharing, pushing kids inside the classroom with their academics, and then also providing support for them outside the school. And also our classified staff and what they do for our staff, from our custodians, our office staff, to everyone, our security. They work very hard, a lot of love, and it's all about developing positive relationship with these kids to help them achieve their goals. And our mission statement says very clearly to prepare students for high school and beyond. And then we have a vision statement that supports that as well, that we work closely to make sure that we serve those needs. But as junior high, and my experience having been at I was at Silverado High School for, many, many years as a teacher, an English teacher, and a coach, and then an assistant principal in our district. I live in the community, and I want to continue to serve the students and families of our community. So I'm very honored for our students, our staff, and parents, so we're here. And I also and I share this with families as well, is that my belief is always connecting with kids and teaching the whole child. That is, teaching them, academically, socially, emotionally, and also develop those positive relationships. And so I'm very proud to kind of share with you guys some programs that we have here that are very special to us. So with our support in getting kids ready for high school and beyond, we kind of focus on 4 specific strategies, and that is to support kids academically, socially, and emotionally, starting with our professional learning communities. That is a very specific and strategic and evidence and research-based program that we're proud to have here at Hook Junior High School. And that is to really focus on a very strategic way and intentional practices that's going to support kids inside the classroom. And that's where teachers, they get together in teams, and then they get together in content teams to, so you have a math team, 7th grade math team, 8th grade math team, 7th grade history team, English, CTE, special ed, and PE, where they get together, they look at the essential standards, those got to know standards, they focus on those standards, and they go through this PLC process. It's a 7-step PLC process that goes with the planning, then the test that they give, that they create together as a team, and then they look at data, and then they provide an action plan to connect with those kids that didn't get it, and then also to extend the learning for the kids that did get it. So that is so if you look at, this, a national program, professional learning communities, and we're proud to have worked with a consultant from Solution Tree for the past 2 years to fine tune and help us on our journey. And that is our professional learning communities. That's initiative number 1. Initiative number 2 is our advisory. Our advisory class supports the social and emotional learning for our kids. And so that is where we use, 3 programs this year, but we have, to support the kids socially and emotionally, we have a program that we are utilizing, and it's an evidence-based program called Rachel's Challenge. And that has elements of, it's Rachel's Challenge, and that supports kids, and it really pushes the notion of kindness, compassion, and understanding. In addition to that, we have elements of AVID, advancement via individual determination. That's a very strong program that's very near dear to our hearts. And so they have it at the high school. That's an international program. So the elements of AVID are embedded in that advisory class that every student takes, so that they get those pieces that are going to help them. Okay. Then we also have our 2nd step program that also supports kids on that of social and emotional support as well. Then we have school-wide AVID strategies. Mrs. Mueller, right over here, she's our AVID coordinator and our advisory coordinator. And her and her team, and all of us really connect on creating one strategy for AVID that we do school-wide. And, before it was reading for disciplinary literacy. And that really supports kids on how to really take notes, or I'm sorry, how to actively mark text in a very strategic way. Okay. Then we have PBIS, Positive Behavior Intervention and Support System. And Mrs. Rask, who I'm very proud to have as my assistant principal, she was a teacher prior to coming and joining the admin team this year, but she was part of it. Her and Miss Anderson and the PBS team really worked to strategically revitalize PBIS here on campus. It's a very big portion of what we do. So those are 4 strategies that we really want to focus on because it's important. I talk about going narrow, but going deep so we can really get this. And we're continuing. We're showing growth. I'm very proud of the work that our staff is doing, but at the same time, we're still got some work to do. Okay. In addition to that, I just want to kind of share with you, that's the kind of the academic piece. And then I also want to share with you just some other areas that are some highlights. Our leadership classes. So Mrs. Kapelos and the leadership team, I know some leadership kids are in here, so thank you all for that you do. They're working so hard. Mrs. Kapelos and leadership team, it's one activity after another that they're really building to help with the culture and the climate of the campus. So just a couple of things that they've done here is that they've had a dance. They have dances here. We had a big outdoor Halloween dance. We have an outdoor Christmas dance coming up. Holiday dance, and then we had an outdoor movie night, and it was out on campus. It was, some time ago, and it was, I was kind of usually it's in here. I was a little nervous, but it went well. We have a lot of families came in with the lawn chairs, and it was beautiful. It was awesome. Beautiful evening, and so very happy for that. We also had an anti-bullying and character building assembly that we provided for our students. And that's where we had BMX, those little motocross bikes where they come in and do flips. They talk about character development, perseverance, etc. for our kids. We've also had a school-wide canned food drive. And then this currently, with leadership, Ms. Kapelos' leadership have worked on is really having our students that have organized the 13 days of holiday giving. And so where students can bring some sort of health and beauty aid, such as toothpaste on one day, deodorant on another, toothbrush on another, shampoo, the body wash. And then students go where, if they do that, they bring it in there and they donate that item. Students get to have fun, and they get to have they had a pajama day, a holiday shirt day, a holiday hat. They get to wear flannels and so on and so forth. Just kind of change. We do have our dress code policy, and that was good. But, we're trying to mix things up a little bit. So we're very proud of that one. And all that is going to collect it, and it'll be given back to our families in need here in the community. We're very proud of that one. So thank you, families, for supporting on that one. Athletics. I was a coach at Silverado High School for many years, and that's important for us as well. And, Mrs. Mueller is our athletic director. And we're very proud of the wrestling team that we've had. There was a girl wrestler. She was awesome. She was about that big, but she was a spark plug. She was awesome to watch. Volleyball team, boys and girls, they compete. So fun to watch, and they compete. They don't play. They are having fun. A lot of the girls and boys, brand new, never played it before, and they're out there diving for volleyballs and everything. It was a blast to watch them. They compete very, very well. They're in finals, they have playoffs right now. The girls competed yesterday. They came up a little short. Boys, I'm happy to report, won today. And so they're in the finals here on Friday. Bless you. Okay. So they're here. And so the boys, are doing great. But we're very proud of the girls and the boys and the coaches as well. Avid. Okay. Avid, Mrs. Mueller is our Avid coordinator. We have family nights. What did I say? Yeah. So we have an Avid family night. It's a family night sponsored by Avid, and they go over the Sean Covey's 7 Habits of Effective Teens. Okay. So that's important. And then we also have, we've had perfect attendance assemblies, perfect attendance to celebrate those kids that are doing the great things. We do that every month. We had an upcoming honor roll that we're doing next year. So the honor roll is very, very important, that we're going to celebrate them. And then again, our CTE program is very, very important for us. And then we have Project Lead the Way, which is new this year. We're very proud of that one as well. FEV tutoring, Ms. Zente has talked about it before. That's also very important for us as well. Okay. I also want to just say as a reminder, as I conclude here, is that I do want to share with you guys that all of our information, okay, Mr. Santiago, our family engagement liaison, I challenged him to be able to provide some additional, to really take that website and really update it. It's very informative right now. Please look at it. And he does a great job in putting social media posts out there, Facebook, our Hook Facebook, so on and so forth. So please continue to use that as a resource as well. Okay. So other than that, I'm almost done. Just kidding. All right. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Cerna. Okay. So I am going to hand it back to our Superintendent, Dr. Ron Williams. If we have any questions, anybody out there, I am going to ask you just to come up to the microphone. Like I said, if you're camera shy, don't worry.
No problem.
You won't be on
Ask a
YouTube, just your voice. We just need to be able, for the folks at home, to be able to hear you. And I do want to remind, speaking of YouTube, anybody watching at home, there are a few of you out there, and now would be your chance to make a comment, ask a question. I do want to say, yes, please. Thank you. And first of all, if you can just tell us your name and who you are.
My name is Victoria Collins. I'm Love Green's mother. And what I wanted to talk about tonight, she and I engage a lot, and she might not want me to mention it, but I'm a very proactive mom, and I gotta say it. So what I did not hear is about the sexual harassment that's been going on with the kids. I didn't hear how we're going to be proactive about that, or is that talked about? Because a lot.
Okay, just to clarify, we mean between kids. You're not saying any staff is guilty of this type
No,
of thing.
no, no, no.
You're
not at
saying
all.
kids. Okay.
Kids. Yeah, the kids. So I've just overheard over time, a lot of the kids are beginning to express that and physically touch, and certain kids are just being targeted. And so I told Love that I would talk to Principal Cerna and just address that and see what we can do as a team in order to keep everybody safe and comfortable at school.
Thank you very much for your question.
Thank you.
Well, I'll go ahead and address it. You know, when it comes to inappropriate touching, we do not tolerate that. And have you had a chance to talk to Mr.
No,
Cerna?
it was going to be done tonight.
Okay, no problem. But we are, you know, we're being proactive in regards to it. When it comes to inappropriate touching, we do not tolerate it. And but you're going to talk to him afterwards, so he'll be able to address it.
Thank you for your time and help.
Our pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Other questions?
And again, I mean, you know, thank you for bringing that up, even though it's not a positive, fun topic. I mean, we need to talk about these things, and the only way to solve it is for us to know about it and bring these things up. So thank you again. Anybody else out
Questions?
here have something you want to talk about? Anybody? Nobody's commenting online. I don't know if I mentioned this, but we have more of you here than we have watching at home, which is, I think, a first for one of these things. So that's great. Yes, please.
So, hi everyone. So I was wondering about the bill that he was speaking about, basically for the funding for the children's. Was that bill already passed?
Which bill in particular are we
It
referring?
was one that was mentioned in regards to funding for more programs for the kids, and of course, a lot of it, I'm sure, a lot of bills were passed prior to for the lunches and all the great things you guys did. Yes, I think it was that one. Was that one already passed? Okay, that's all my only
Okay,
question.
no
Thank
problem.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
I don't know if we've gotten the fund. Have we gotten funding for that yet? We haven't been funded for it, but it has passed. Okay. Anything else?
Thank you. Anybody else? Now's your big chance. I guess we explained everything so well that there are no questions. And I don't see anybody out there In TV land. Oh, good. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, so I assume you guys are students here. So go ahead and tell us your names and what grade you're in,
Go ahead.
please. It's okay. It's okay. What are the names again?
Mark and Stephanie. Jude and Emily. Okay, go ahead.
Jude and
What's your
Emily,
question?
or Mark and Stephanie. One of the two? Okay.
Okay. Go ahead. What's your question?
It's okay. It's okay. Oh, you forgot it. Okay. That's all right. It might come back to you.
I think it was thank you for supporting our Avid thing.
Oh, awesome.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know, I forgot.
Avid. Are you guys Avid students? Awesome. And Avid is advancement via individual determination. And it's a great program for students. And we are happy to have some Avid students here with us. It's always great to see students in the audience.
Okay,
Okay.
any other questions? Well, we want to thank all of you for coming. I know that you could probably be sitting at home watching television. We want to thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. And I'm not sure when we're doing our next meeting, but please feel free to attend if you can. And with that, we will shut it down. Yes, thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.